Hi, I'm Casper Core's virtual assistant. Can you please say or type your name so that I can look up your appointment details? Thanks. Excellent. Let me just look up your package details. There you are. I'm going to put your package details on screen. If this looks correct, either type or say correct. Wonderful. Your package technician will be out very shortly. Please allow at least 5 to 10 minutes to wait for your technician to retrieve you. Thank you for choosing Casper Core for all your wellness needs. Goodbye. Hey, I'm Calliope, and I'm going to be your technician today. Oh, no, I'm an actual person. I don't have anything to do with the virtual assistant thing. I actually just came into work one day, and they had implemented it. They even changed their clothes to match mine on each day I come into work. Really don't hear the end of that one. So it looks like your package today. This includes the pre-wash and rinse, Brainrot Extraction, the Brain Wash, registered trademark, and scrub, a polish and rinse, as well as a protectant at the end. Did you have any questions before we begin? Okay, let me go ahead and show you some of the tools I'm working with, and we will get started with your pre-wash. And our little scrubbing pad, my polishing cloth, little application tools, as well as our scrubbers. Good. Excellent. So I keep these in a different spot than with the regular tools. So for our pre-wash and rinse, I'm going to do a little dusting, if you don't mind. Yeah, it just really helps to brush away any dirt or debris to start. And then when we go in with the rinsing, it doesn't create a sort of dust mud, if you will. It's a pretty good approach for any kind of cleaning, really. Just give everything a little wipe down before bringing in any of the wet tools. So we're just going to brush everything off, and then we'll give it a good rinse with the mist bottle. Okay, so I think I've given a good overview. So we're going to get in a little slower here. This is where really break up any debris or dirt in any of those hard to reach places. just using this sort of circular motion here. To break that up. And we're just going to take that nice and slow. Nice and slow. We want to take our time with this because this is often a treat for people. I see a lot of people who are pretty chronically online. You know, there are just some things that r/eye bleach cannot quite handle, and that's where we step in, where we can just scrub it all away. Go in, do a little bit of detail work here. We're going to add a little bit of movement to this. So whereas the bigger brush tends to be a little more stationary, this is a little more dynamic. You feel like maybe I've missed a spot, and you'll know if there is a certain area that wasn't taken care of as much as you needed it to be. And that is just okay. We can go back in. And let me know if it's a little too much. Sometimes this can almost feel like, you know, we're trying to gently exfoliate a bit, but sometimes it feels almost like we're going in with a walnut scrub, and we can loosen up. Okay. So I'm just going to hold my hand over your eyes so that I can get our mist bottle and rinse this away. Trying to get that into the folds there. Be a little difficult to rinse all of that out. And we're just using this to bring in that rinse. Let's do a little more. Just let that run into the folds of the brain there. We want to equally clean the gyri and the sulci. And it's a good sign we're getting some of that water running down, which means we've got an adequate amount. Okay. we're going to be doing our extraction. We're going to target primarily our bits of brain rot. So I'm just going to take a peek and let me know if it feels like I'm poking at something that you'd like to keep, right? But I think we're going to get right in here. Right in here. Okay. Oh, that one's a bit stuck. Okay. And then when we're done with this, we'll get into the fun bits. So luckily with the pre-wash, with the brushing and the rinse, it's easy to see these little bits that are not doing anything for us. And while we lovingly call it the brain rot extraction, it's really just anything that is doing more harm than good. It just happens to look rather similar in your brain. Unfortunately, it's a little tedious just because oftentimes it's not these large pockets, but instead it's these little, it's almost like grains of rice. You're just picking up single grains of rice with the tweezers. There we go. So it just takes a little bit of patience and a little bit of observation, making sure we're getting the right bits. There we go. I'm going to get just a little bit closer. We are. You doing okay? Okay. I know it feels a little strange at first, but after this is all done, you are going to feel a lot better. A lot of people feel like it's easier to connect with other people, that it's easier to just kind of exist. A little bit of that anxiety that some people experience, that can go down a bit. You don't have to be so self-conscious. A lot of times what happens is people get really in their head about being cringe. And one of the unofficial models here, or mottos rather, the unofficial motto is, do not kill the part of you kill the part of you that cringes. In regards to, for example, if you like cartoons, or if you're really into collecting like little models, you know, harmless little hobbies, things like that. You know, if you like watching anime or cartoons. A lot of people refuse to do that just because it's seen as childish, and that is not at all what that's about. There is a reason, for example, in a lot of those animated movies that they put in jokes for the adults and whatnot. It's okay. It's okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to our Brainrot registered trademark little mix-up. So I am going to show you how we mix up the Brainrot, and then we'll do a little scrubbing and get your brain nice and clean, okay? Right. Let's start by adding some of our patented Brainrot to the cup here. That should be enough. And then some water. Let's see. There's our water line. Let's start with this. We're already starting to get something. There we go. We need a little more than that. Oh, even better yet. There we go. Perfect. I think that is just enough Brainrot to take care of you today. Alright, so we've got a good consistency here. Let's go ahead and just take some of that. Get some on the top and do a little application here. Start with that, and then couple little tools here to really scrub it in. We have a fine scrubber and a coarse scrubber here. So let's just start by poking around a bit, because I can also use the tips of the scrubbers to just work the wash in there. Like that. Yeah, let's start just with this guy. And just try to get that worked in. This just gives you a clean slate. Okay, let's try with the coarse side. Gonna dip this scrubber to get a little more wash there. I think for you, the fine scrubber is gonna work the best. Okay. There we go. Getting in all the little crevices here. right in the big divide between the hemispheres here. Into those spaces, and we want to use up as much of our wash as possible. Just a little bit more. Tap that on there. Right in here. There we go. So, if you choose to have another deep brain cleansing, we do keep some notes on file. So, I can put down that this fine scrubber works really well for you. If you would like us to open a file, if you think that maybe you might come back again, it's up to you. Now, I would like to just get some of those extra suds before we do a little rinse. gonna do a little dry scrub here. This breaks down the suds a little bit more. Okay. See, there's not too much left here. Give this one last little hurrah to break up everything. Okay, let me go ahead and just rinse you off. That really cleared quite a bit of that out. That's good. To do a little bit more, we need to make sure that it's dry enough at least that we can polish everything. Bit of drippage going on, but that's good. There. That is good enough for us to do a little bit of polishing here. It's going to get in there and with some circular motions we are going to polish this up. We can put on some Protectant. That looks good. Now, a little rinse. Good. And just get any dripping bits. There. And then our Protectant. Where did I put that? There it is. Awful sounding stuff, but it goes on with a nice oily sheen, and then dries with a non-greasy residue. It's almost like a massage balm in that regard. So we're going to rub that in. Going to again do a brain massage. Still be a couple trips here and there. For the most part, we've got the adequate layer of, or level rather, of moisture. Now this part, we want to make sure that every crevice is protected. Let's get a little more here. And then we'll have to get into all the folds here. nice thorough massage to just eliminate any of the remnant stressors. Protecting and soothing. Making sure that when you leave here, you feel at least just a little bit better. Just the littlest bit better. Let me just look you over here, make sure we got everything covered. Just tracing the folds. Good. Looking. Making sure there isn't anything that we left behind that we shouldn't have. Does it feel like there are any places that need any more attention that maybe didn't get quite enough attention here in your brain? Okay, we're just going to give this a nice slow overview here. Just the last little bit, the more soothing bit, as opposed to making sure we've got our protectant distributed. Nice and slow. Good. There we go. Okay. Let me get cleaned up a bit. Protectant's not going to do much for my hands, not when it's meant for your brain. Okay, let me just grab these and I'm just going to wipe off your head here, your face. And any little drips. brain cleansing treatment. How did you feel about your brain cleansing treatment today? Does it feel like your brain's a little more lighter? Does it feel a little more soothed? Does it feel like everything's just a little bit easier? Okay, that's what we want to see. Now, I would recommend that with this kind of treatment, we do this perhaps with a gap of at least 3 months. So with normal internet use and normal activity, say every 4 to 5 months. If you happen to work on the internet for a living, then I would definitely say 3 months is a good gap. Alright? Okay. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for choosing Casper Core for all your wellness needs. I hope you have a